Hey everybody, this is the TMG Podcast. This is episode 47. It is literally the last day of August. It's August 31. And this is Carlos, and with me as well.
Hello.
And Miggy. Hello, Miggy.
What's up, dudes?
And it's a podcast about everything video games. Yep, the last day of August. The next day is literally going to be the Burr month. It's going to be a hellish week for our wallets.
Yes, it's going to be very painful up till December, really.
Well, for those who just like constantly buy new games over and over, there's going to be a wild lineup as we end the year. Gamescom's now done. PAX is showing up. It's actually ongoing right now in the US in this weekend. And there's a lot that was announced this week. A lot about live streaming. The Walking Dead season 2 finale has already ended. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Nintendo apparently released a new 3DS.
Or is releasing a new 3DS.
Yeah, final form. I don't know, but we'll see. We got more news about a new standalone for Saints Row 4. A little bit of an update for Assassin's Creed Unity, and more characters for Smash Brothers, the Wii U and 3DS versions. So there's a lot to talk about this. Oh, at the same time, there's something going on with Rovio, which is pretty much the Angry Birds company. It's nothing good. That's what we're saying. It's something horrible.
Are you sure?
Not really. I think it's a good wake-up call for them, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I have a point on why it's a bad thing, but we'll get to that. But first, of course, we'll go with impressions. And I mentioned earlier, The Walking Dead season 2 finale has just ended, and all three of us have played it.
Yes.
All three of us have finally finished season 2. And okay, me in a nutshell.
I think we all have different opinions and variations on this, on what happened.
Yeah. For those who don't know, The Walking Dead is The Walking Dead game. This is the season 2 or the second game of Telltale Games, like story-driven episodic video game. It's based on Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead, and these are completely different characters and set in the same world, but I guess in a different state, right? It's pretty much a different state. Season 2 is already up, and it's now finally finished. I think since now episode 5 is out, I'll start off by saying that this season 2, this whole thing as a package compared to season 1, there's as much as I love the last episode for the season 2, there's still that big gap. Still, like, it didn't really close the gap much. Kind of helped, but I still see that gap.
I felt this last episode was a little bit rushed also. Although the finale itself was very powerful, when you're playing it, you do get the sense that they're rushing a lot of things, and a lot of stuff sort of gets wrapped up kind of very quickly, and it's not very, you're not very fulfilled. I guess you don't feel as happy with how things were wrapped up as I would have hoped for certain aspects. Well, that's how I felt. So I feel it was a bit of a rushed episode that was redeemed in the end by a very powerful ending.
Me, rushed. I guess I can see it being rushed, but I enjoyed the events that unfolded in this episode compared with, I think, the last two, like episode 4, episode 3. And episode 3 is actually that specific compound, like that specific part in the game. But I like how the fact that it's now like pretty much a struggle between the group more than just Clementine trying to save the world or their world.
Zombies definitely take a backseat.
It becomes more of a human versus human confrontation. And it's not anymore much of it. I didn't get that feeling of like, oh, I have to do this over and over again. It's more like I'm trying to keep everybody together, but it's no matter what I do, nothing is working. You know what I mean? I feel that struggle. Clementine is trying to help. Now I feel that sense of helplessness. I'm like, I can't do anything for this group.
You feel like a kid in a way.
Yeah, which I really appreciate, because like in the previous episodes, like they give me so much responsibility, they give me so much things to do, and then I pretty much get them out of this horrible situation. And in episode 5, like I have that sense of responsibility, like I kind of help them, but you feel that like not really helping out. This is not really working. Like this happened, that happened. Like you feel really helpless, and then through in the end and the finale, you kind of left wanting more at the same time, kind of like parang like there's no hope. Like you felt like crap, that happened, you know. And I think that just works well for The Walking Dead, especially for a finale like this, and how the first few the episode 1, episode 4 unfolded. What about you, Migs? What is your thought, like, since now episode 5 is now out? How is the flow as now you've seen it from the start to finish for season 2?
Like as a whole, the season?
Yeah. Like since you now have a full picture of everything in general.
Yeah, like what we said before, me and Will, I still feel that most of the season feels like filler. And a lot of things don't really make sense. Like, one of the key characters in episode 5 actually appears in, what was that, episode 3? Or 4?
4, yeah.
So, like, there's a huge disconnect with almost everything, and, like, a lot of the cast members didn't feel like they really mattered.
Yeah, actually, you kind of mentioned a good point where, like, the big final confrontation, the big plot twist, pretty much in the end of this season, only like this character only shows up in the 4th episode. It didn't have any character development. It just like she shows up, or he or she shows up, and then bam, like she's a very important person all of a sudden. Not compared to the other characters who lasted from episode 1 all the way to episode 5. I felt that they were like fodder because everybody was like going down like left and right. It was like group. It's not a happy group whatsoever.
Some of them even die off screen.
Yeah.
Well, that's the assumption, you know. Like again.
Well, yeah, that's the assumption.
No, you see some of them like they run alive at some point, and the next time you see them, they're just a zombie.
True.
Not even like the caricature zombie style that Telltale has, but like they still look like them, but like with white skin and no pupils and stuff.
So did you like the season 2 though, as much as I get your point with the whole.
I enjoyed season 2 tremendously. I don't think it was as as in exciting as the first season. But I think the strength of this one was it had a lot more because if you watch season 1, it feels more like a TV show. Like the points where the episodes stop are like real cliffhangers. Like you're really like, oh, I want to see what happens next. Here it doesn't feel as TV showish. I guess it's if I could use that term, but.
If there's one thing I can if there's one thing I can compare it, the whole episode 1 to episode 4 to season 1, you've played episode 2 of season 1, of course, right? So you know what went down there, and I think that episode and that season was a complete disconnect between the important parts of like episode 1, 3, 4, and 5. I think episode 2 is just like he's a filler, and episode 1 and 4 of season 2 is just the same.
Was episode 2 the farmhouse?
Pretty much.
Okay.
And
that's okay. I thought that was.
No,
okay.
I mean, like, it felt like a filler. Like, it didn't, like, they could have just had any kind of scenario in that point. They could have had any kind of scenario and connect everything else together, and it'd be fine.
Random bad guys.
Yeah, random. No, not bad guys. I'll say nasty. I'll just say nasty.
We're spoiling this shit anyway, so why don't we just say it?
I guess. I mean, let's put it out there. Like, the more we discuss this, the more we're likely to spoil. So, listener, be warned. There may and likely will be spoilers. To the Walking Dead.
I'm gonna go straight now to like what we want to mention already for the episode 5.
Yeah, dude. Like you were saying, episode 2, season 1. That's fucking cannibals.
Yeah.
Which like at least they had like better context to their appearance, as opposed to the end of episode 4 and the beginning of episode 5's random Russians.
Random Russians. That actually felt really random. Like, oh, there's Russian people now. Okay.
But I get your point where like the cliffhangers of season 1 was so much better, because in season 2 like they have a cliffhanger, but it just completely concludes right in just like the first 2 minutes of the episode.
I think at the end of episode 3, season 2, there was no cliffhanger. Like, you just ended up in Carver's camp and like, okay.
Yeah. But there's a cliffhanger on episode 4. Oh no, the cliffhanger of episode 3, which is actually a good cliffhanger, and then at the start of episode 4, it pretty much concludes like after 2 minutes, just like how episode 4's cliffhanger ended like in just a couple of minutes in the start of episode 5. You know what I mean, right? Like you said, the Russians show up, a big gunfire ensues, and technically after 5 minutes it's done, and it's back to what problems they had, and then them looking for supplies and whatnot. And like like okay, cool. Like I thought it was like something huge, and apparently it just nothing. It's not important. But okay, so in episode 5, this is pretty much I'm on the end of Clementine's journey. Will, you think it was rushed?
The episode itself felt rushed,
it feels like they had to squeeze so much into that last episode.
Yeah. I think I was just more focused on that one death in that episode that didn't quite make any, like, I don't know why.
You mean Luke?
Yeah.
That's so bad.
That also made me feel like, okay, happy birthday, you're dead. I mean, that felt, if anything says rush to me, that it was that, like, but I guess, the way I think about it is like they needed to eliminate him because he was always sort of like the third major party member of that group, right?
Yeah, and so yet still being completely useless at every single part.
You guys all helped him, right?
I tried to. I
ran to him.
Yeah, I ran to him like a little like how a child would run to his father.
The difference I think that choice makes, whether to cover him or to run to him, is how Bonnie treats you after Arvo shoots you in the chest.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because since we all helped him,
spoiler alert, children get hurt here.
Since we all ran to Luke and we saw him be a cool guy underwater, which I hated. After Arvo shoots you, Bonnie runs up to you and sees if you're okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, if you cover Luke, she'll like straight up ditch you right then and there. Because like, all your other choices with her didn't seem to matter. But I don't know.
That's another character where I thought was kind of building up. And actually no, not really a building up, more like a character that kind of took me by surprise. I think I was talking this about Will, and Bonnie came out like, oh, this is actually a pretty heartwarming person, and all of a sudden they just did 180 on her.
Yeah, as opposed to her 400 days appearance, where they were like, she was just a two-timing bitch.
I have a different perspective there because I never played 400 Days, which 400 Days is the DLC of season 1, and that episode pretty much. The one episode that connects season 1 to season 2 is a tie-in episode, and yeah, some of the characters from that episode carry on to season 2, and so I always thought of her as like a person that's kind of just trying to survive, but very sweet. But towards the end of the episode 5, in the end, it's just really just her just thinking about her, and what she did to Clementine was just. God, like I'd rather shoot her than Arvo, to be honest.
Did you notice the subtle hints to Bonnie and Luke having an affair?
Yes, there was. I noticed that as well, and I don't know. It felt like they introduced a lot of these elements, and then
they never played up to it.
They never played up. Yeah, they never played up to it. So
even when Bonnie straight up mentions it in the bonfire part in episode 5.
Yeah.
When she takes a sip of the rum. Then nobody addresses it after that.
Because nobody
That
cares.
was a cool touch. The bonfire episode was a good touch.
But what makes me not like that even more is, you remember before that, how Luke was before you treat Kenny's wounded eye?
Mm-hmm.
Luke was going all guilt trip mode, like saying everything was his fault.
Right.
Yeah.
But none of that was ever clearly explained.
And then he could do more and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, because you remember in Carver's camp where he was supposed to meet you in that room and he just wasn't there.
Yep, I remember that.
I thought maybe he died from blood loss and became a zombie, but apparently he was doing something else. And it was implied that he was with Bonnie. But yeah, they never played up to that, and yet everyone seems to know that happened. Except you.
Well, okay, except you, because you're a child. Well, when I was playing the game, I was like playing that I'm a kid. Like, seriously. Stop
No,
acting
but like Clementine knows that he and Jane boned straight up.
I know.
Like,
But
even
there's a
if you
choice.
didn't- Yeah, there's a choice, but like,
Yeah.
I'm sure like even if you pick those choices, like they know that you know.
Yeah.
They know that you know.
Then you know that you know. And the the characters in season 2, in general, it's a mixed bag. No, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag because, as much as I hate Bonnie, for example, I like that big twist where, no, it's hard to tell, like, how a person really is in the end.
Like you mean Mike?
No, Bonnie.
Oh, I thought
Mike?
you meant like how Mike straight up turns on you.
No, Mike
Or
kind
the last
of, I
one.
kind of felt that already, leading up.
Mike
when
was
he
such
like,
a minor character, though. I think,
Yeah.
but
and they did foreshadow that by saying that he's trying to get everyone's approval without earning it.
yeah.
So that was kind of a thing where you know he's going to betray you.
So if you compare like, I don't know, it's gonna be like a unanimous decision, but if you compare season 2 characters with season 1 characters, I guess I can say that season 1 characters pretty much triumphed in this
well,
one.
that brings a good point because one season one character is still there, and that's Kenny, and he's a big player in this episode.
Yeah, he's the plot point for everyone.
He's the plot point, and he's pretty much he carries a lot of weight for the season. Just because for me that played the first season, all my decisions really carried because Kenny's there, and because Kenny, I had kind of like a history on season 1. I know what he went through. I experienced what happened to his child and all that.
Yeah, you know
and
why he's going nuts.
You know why he
Yeah.
is how he is, right? Which made it
So
very
it
difficult for me to
Yeah.
not side with him in a lot of cases because
So he had a lot of weight. He had a lot of weight in my choices, and that was a great touch. Like I actually appreciate Telltale Games to actually carry on one major character, and then have that kind of connect with Clementine and Kenny.
That's
And it
another
kinda
thing, though.
Played up well.
That's another thing. Remember how in episode 1, like most of the cast is with you throughout the entire season,
Yeah,
so you get to connect with almost everyone at any level, at any point. While season 2, you constantly had characters jumping in and out of the fray.
yeah.
And then you had like other characters like Luke who had almost no development, and you knew he was useless from the start.
As much as he's the only one with the machete.
Yeah, and he reached up to episode 5, and yet, I still don't like the guy.
No, but I just like I just like how one character, because he was from the last season, carried any weight. I just don't know how it would
That's
pan
another
out.
thing. Like the saving, I want to maybe not saving grace, but like the big player in season 2 is a dude from the previous season who appeared also in episode 3.
Yeah, so that's
Wait.
why I don't know. Like we all played season 1, so I'm curious to a person who have never played season 1 and then went straight up to season 2. Because of course there will be people that have done that. So I want to see like their reactions or their weight on their decisions based on like if they want to side with Kenny. Because I'm sure when they start seeing it for the first time, Clementine will instantly imply that I know this person, and then let's see how it goes. So, but yeah, I think in terms of the characters, season 1 had much more weight because they actually had time to develop.
Yep.
And then season 2 was just a complete mixed bag. You didn't even know which was a main player or a major player. The only time you knew someone was a major player for season 2 was literally towards the end. Like,
But I guess that's how, like, if you were to put a survival, like a post-apocalyptic thing,
yeah,
I think that's the way to go. Like, in the first season, you build up a lot of trust with these people. Then
Yeah.
you know that not everyone is trustworthy. Then season 2 is like, can I trust this guy? Can I trust that guy? Like, you never really know who is going to be who's going to hang with you till the end.
and can I
Like,
say
even-
this though? Go ahead, sorry.
Even like these parts where you're torn between siding with him or calling him out for his his behavior of being irrational and everything.
Yeah. Can I say though that season 2 actually plays more of the personality of the Walking Dead series, the franchise, of like not having a single clue on these characters, like anything can go anywhere. Because that's what I felt with season 2, like the conclusion, the characters' development.
I actually
they all just go
like.
everywhere.
I
They go-
prefer if stuff like this is open-ended. Like,
Mm,
even if there wasn't a season 3 and with the endings that you and me got, Carlos, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind. Like, in my mind, stuff is okay, but, it's like how like how we say that The Last of Us, if it does get a sequel, to just have new characters
yeah,
and not include the old ones, at the very least mention them, but not
Yeah.
actually show them,
yeah.
just to leave it as is.
Now going back to the actual ending of the season 2, this has a better ending for me, I think, compared to season 1. I think that's the only biggest positive.
I
if
do
you
think the
compared
decision
it to-
here was much harder to make than in season 1. So.
Yeah, it was hard, much to make.
Yes. Much
So
harder to make
hard.
it. It was so tense.
It was so tense. It was so hard, and you really feel like you really feel like your ending really is different compared to one, because you have a choice of actually like replaying and checking out like the past decisions, and we all did it, and it shows different scenarios, and those different scenarios could lead to like a possibly really awesome season 3, because you have we don't want to spoil it that much yet, but it has different scenarios. So depending on how Telltale Game does it in the future is actually pretty exciting, because this is completely open-ended compared to the first one, because the first one is pretty much more, I think you can say it's more linear, like it'll go that way regardless. Whereas in season 2, based on what happens in episode 5, will pretty much determine, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
like,
season 2 had
the future.
3 core endings, while season 1 just had the one ending.
Well, it didn't have the one. Yeah, that's true.
Didn't have colors. For one. It didn't have colors. It didn't have colors. I hope someone understood
Well,
that
you can
reference.
say that one ending is green, one ending is brown, and one ending is
Brown?
oh,
What the hell is brown?
jacket, man.
Yeah,
The
but
Jane ending, because she has a brown jacket.
but yeah, I liked the ending had a lot of weight. It had a lot of I think the ending, the final decision making in that game really shined, and it actually made me want to play the game again, like reset it, like just to see the difference. And I'm not too sure though if Telltale Game has never really announced if they're gonna actually do a season 3. Like,
No, they haven't announced anything like that yet. So whether season 3 or not comes is still up in the air.
yeah, because I don't know, they can do so much. Like, they can do so much with that open-ended ending. I don't know how they're gonna do it. It's not like in like the first season, the second season, where it's kind of obvious what's gonna happen. Well, I mean, obvious, more like you want to know what happens to that specific character. Now, like, there are different scenarios on how this will go on. So
I don't know. For me, if they were to have a season 3, I'd like it where you have a new cast as well.
that would
Like,
work too.
I think-
yeah.
I think 400 Days, despite it being only one episode, that you cycled through 5 main characters,
Yeah.
I feel like I connected with them more than most of the cast in season 2.
Yeah, which I remember when Will was explaining to me what 400 Days is about. I really felt like I was missing out, because that's the only episode.
Yeah, 400 Days.
It's actually no, it actually plays a very minor part in the greater scheme of things, in my opinion. Cause
Yeah, it's essentially only Bonnie and
Yep.
who's the name of the black girl with the afro at the Carver's place or something?
she's there too. Yeah,
And you see, for me, I saw Wyatt, the guy with the beard.
yeah. Wyatt's there. I
But
saw
he doesn't
the
have
Asian,
any lines.
the Asian guy was there for me,
Okay, he wasn't there in mine.
and then the kid and her sister were there for me.
Okay,
So-
they weren't there in mine because they didn't join.
Okay, wait.
They're all-
But that's basically it. It's just
Little
Bonnie
cabin.
and Talia.
But here's one thing though, like how the whole season ended. They had at the start of season 2, there was a big question on a specific character, and as we ended episode 5, that question was never answered. So
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it that much. We
Will.
spoiled it a lot, but I won't mention it yet.
I did
No,
the
no,
Kenny ending.
no, it's not that. It's just it's.
No, but like, did you ask the girl at the gate about
About her, yeah, I did, and
Yeah, I
what
did.
was her reply?
and the answer
Same.
I got was she doesn't think so.
Oh,
So
she's
my-
alive then.
They don't
No,
know.
my guess
It's still
is
levels
it could be a DLC. That's all I want to say. My
Yeah.
guess.
Or
is
like
DLC.
if the season 3 could come out, she could be in there. Like that
Yeah.
that would be okay.
I do want to speak a little bit about my ending because throughout the whole game, basically, like, I found it always so difficult to try and defend Kenny against what people were saying about it because, as you mentioned, like, playing season 1, you know where he's coming from, you know what he's been through.
Yeah.
So, you know what, just give him space, leave him alone, he'll be okay, but, his, as you mentioned, his outbursts were getting more and more out of control. So for me, when I, at that very end, when you had to make that really tough decision of what to do, and I made the tough call of supporting him throughout the whole game, I felt that at the ending, my choice was redeemed because I saw really what he cares about.
Yeah, he was right essentially.
Well, first of all, he was right about going north, but second about that, you see
wasn't
how much
crazy.
he loves you, how much he cares about you. Like, he says,
Yeah.
"Look, take the baby, and you have a future here."
I did not expect that he would play that card.
And the feels just came pouring out for me, and I knew he was right. Like, but part of me really wanted to say no. I wanted to stay with you, but at the end of the day, my gut was telling me he's
Yeah.
right, and that was so.
Logically, going inside would make
Yeah.
more sense.
But again, the thing was like, what that ending, it redeemed every hard choice I had to make when I had to defend them. Like, I saw for the first time who he was before everything happened, So
Yeah. I actually agree.
I don't know
that,
if the Jane ending. I don't know if the Jane ending is similar at all in that sense, but
Well, I don't know. I had a different when I finished the game, I had my gut ending, like all the decisions based on my gut, and then I did what Will did. I checked out all the endings, and yes, I think that that side is a more redeeming ending, a more impactful ending. Mine, on the other hand, it just feels right. It feels more.
But I like how the fact that your gut ending is always the one that feels right. Like, I haven't, from what I've talked to you guys, you guys don't regret. You feel what you guys decided on.
No, yeah.
And-
I'm 100%
I
on
think-
my. I'm
Yeah, and
100%.
I really mastered how Telltale was able to pull that off in the sense that regardless of what you decide, to you it's the right ending. Because it feels right to you.
And I think that's also solidified by how the game shows you the percentage of choices at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
My choice is barely a very small minority, about 12% or something like that.
it is. And then and when I checked my percentage, it was actually I think it was like close to 50 or 40%. Like, it's a big majority of people that actually went my way. No, not like I think lower than 50% because it's based on like one major choice in the final choice. Because I went I don't want to say my ending, but it's different. It's like there's a big gap compared to like the one that the ending, your ending, which is like I don't know, like you said, 12%, like 10% or something. So I think it's pretty cool that I think it'd be pretty awesome that if all three of us had different endings, it would really show that Telltale Games was able to make people go in different directions. Because that's what Telltale Games is really their only goal. It's like to make people have their own choices. But me and Miggy are in the same boat, and Will is on
Different boat.
you know what we should do?
Freddy.
Since you can look at all the choice percentages of each episode in the season, we should just upload all of that, like the percentage screen of all of season 2, and show the world.
What happened
I
in
don't know.
season each
'Cause
episode?
I screen capped mine already.
I haven't screen capped mine yet, but yeah, I mean it's definitely doable if we need to. We can do
But
that,
yeah,
for sure.
okay. Final thoughts is pretty much season 2. I think is still a great game. It's just the masterpiece that is the season 1. There's a big gap, but I still would suggest you guys try out season 2. It's still a great series, but I highly recommend that you start with season 1 first. Like everything
Yeah,
will just
I agree.
make sense if you just do season 1. This is a game where yes, you can play season 2, but season 1 will just make everything so much better. Like,
And it's on sale like almost all the time now.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
and it's really one, and you really understand because this game was, I think, 2011, 2012 game of the year, like in everywhere.
Yeah, even on the VGAs.
Yeah, on the VGAs, like as much as that doesn't really count for anything, but
But like at a show where you expect a shooter to always win.
yeah,
That's true.
Okay.
Actually, no one was expecting it to win as much as it did.
No one was
because-
expecting it to be there even.
yeah.
Like, as part of the choices.
So if you guys
Yeah, I know
actually, for those who are actually more of a casual gamer or even a hardcore gamer, like this is actually even your spouse would appreciate or a friend or just if you want a great story. Season 1 is just perfect. Like, you just play it and then.
If you had a choice to play only one season or maybe one game from Telltale, make it The Walking Dead Season 1.
Yep, that's true. By the way, I talked about this a little bit. Like, how did you feel about the little flashback scene with
Fuck that.
with Lee?
I was so mad.
Oh, you were
Like-
you were fuming that the Russian guy shot you.
Yeah, like, I thought, like, because if it ended that way, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but it felt a bit, like, in my mind, I was going, yeah, that's okay, it feels a bit short, but, you know, if it blacks out this way, that's cool. Leave everything open-ended. Then the flashback happens, and I was like, what the fuck? No! Don't do this to me, game.
No, okay,
Yeah,
Flash.
Ben in the back of the van. Well, was it Ben for you guys? Did you notice that?
Yeah,
Mine was the fault. It was, but I know my choices on my PlayStation 3 version. And it's different. Like I did different.
Yeah, I know, like, fuck Ben. And, like, that's how it turned out, and, like, especially with how long it ran,
Yeah.
that flashback part, I was like, sweet God, don't let it end this way. I'd be so mad.
No, but I'll tell you this though. Like since you mentioned the flashback, it's a very important part in that episode. That actually made me, or maybe the players remind how much Clementine has grown. Like you've like slowly was like seeing Clementine be this person, and all of a sudden you revert back to what she was before, and then like okay, you can
like, just from the tone of her voice being all,
just
like,
by the tone of the
innocent.
voice, exactly. The voice was completely different, and that makes that scene that towards was, I don't know, it gave a lot for that episode.
I think it added a lot to it. It helped me also in the final decisions, what to do. You know,
Yeah.
I think Lee's advice was very important at that point. And that's why they put that scene in, just to give you a point. Like, okay, remember where Clementine, is coming from here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's The Walking Dead season 2. You got any final thoughts before we move on? Because there's one more game I kind of want to ask before we head out for the big topics.
I think now that it's complete and taking the whole season as an overall, the theme is not so clear, I think, yet in this one as it was in season one, where where you were pretty much, despite all odds, trying to help this little girl find her parents. But in this one, it wasn't as clear as to what the theme, what the game was trying to tell you. I think personally, the running theme there is all about the importance of family or sticking it out alone, because at the very end the two characters who the Kenny and Jane pretty much represent those two extremes. Like Jane was the whole loner type, and then Kenny is the one who lost everything trying to keep his family safe. So is it worth becoming what Kenny would become, just to do that?
To keep the hope alive.
Yeah, exactly. Or to just, say fuck it and become this kind of cold, heartless bitch, who fucking leaves a baby out in the cold with zombies.
You know what? Like, I was wondering, because she fake kills the baby, right?
Yeah.
They can't go into rage mode. I wish they showed.
Okay.
You spoiled everything else. Come on. Like, I wish they showed what she used to trick Kenny. Because I was down. No, because she tells you, like, before Kenny goes insane and comes back, she tells you, like, I'm going to show you what Kenny really is. Which led me to believe that she did not, like, do away with the baby.
Okay. But apparently, regardless.
Yes, everything still happens, but, like, that's why during the gunpoint scene, because I would have stuck with Kenny. But then when she said that to me, and Kenny came back all angry as hell, and Jane actually puts her knife away at one point, remember?
Yeah, she does. That's correct.
And she clearly wanted to talk things out. That's what made those final moments a little harder for me.
I don't think it excuses what she did, though, but yeah.
Yeah, she's still crazy, but still, she had a plan. While Kenny was just riding on emotions.
All right, so final thoughts.
Yeah, but final thoughts for me. I don't think that there wasn't a theme, because I think the theme was who do you trust?
Yeah.
Like it took a while for that to come out, but like who do you really trust? I think that's the theme. What wasn't clear was the goal. Like up until maybe episode 4 or 5, like I don't remember anyone mentioning where they were going. And they just ended up in the snow. And apparently, we're going to Wellington. Where the fuck is that? I don't know.
I don't know
so
where we're going.
We're going to Wellington, like, I don't know where that is. So, yeah, that's how, and like, how long before any of that is even brought up is a bit baffling. But I think the theme was there, but yeah, the goal was not.
I think it's excusable. I mean, for such a game like that, you could excuse a few things here and there. So it wasn't such a big deal for me. But yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
There's DLC.
DLC.
Like maybe if it had another episode to just even things out.
So that's The Walking Dead, season 2. Spoilers now ends here. We're done. Overall, it's a great game. And before we moving on. Miggy, I know I didn't mention it before the brief or anything, but I kind of wanted to ask you about this. This one game before we start, the other things we have to talk about. How is Five Nights with Freddy's?
Dude, that game is cool.
Because that's a PC game, PC horror game that came out. I think last week. Did it come out last week?
I think it came out on the 20th of August.
Yeah. And okay, for those who don't know, what is it exactly? Because this is actually a very interesting game.
It's a hard game to describe, but at its core, it's essentially a point-and-click survival horror. You know Chuck E. Cheese in the States?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the pizza joints with the arcades and the mascots and everything. It's a happy, fun place. This is sort of like that. Like Freddy's is maybe it's a pizza place, I don't know, but like it's a place where kids go eat and play games and then dance to the robotic animatronic mascots playing music.
Yeah.
And it's your first night as the Night Watch security guard.
And apparently these animatronics become alive.
No, like they're constantly on, like because the explanation of the former guard who calls you on the phone is that if they're left off for too long, their joints like stiffen up.
Oh, okay.
So it's better to have them on, and at night they're on this sort of free roaming mode, and they kind of do whatever since nobody's there.
Okay, so they're not alive? Are they?
No, they're not alive. Like the guy tells you that they're just straight up robots.
Oh, so he says.
Okay. Even though they look at you in the camera with their eyes, but the explanation is since it's nighttime and it's dark, since they're trying to conserve power, they don't recognize you, and their like programming is, oh, you must be one of the animatronics out of his suit. So they catch you and they forcibly stuff you in one of the suits. I think they stuff you in Freddy. And since he's full of robot parts, you essentially get minced and smashed up in the process. So like even the security guard like says, parang like in the contract you don't really die, but essentially you do, and all that's left would probably be your eyes and mouth sticking out of the mascot's head or something.
Oh, wow.
Oh god. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the gameplay aspect is you're only in the security room. You have access to two like mechanical doors on your left and right sides, and you're in like you have access to I think maybe a laptop or a screen, which you can cycle through different security cameras in the building.
Okay.
So the main point is these robots will move around room to room, and your job is to keep them out of your room by keeping your eye on them and then close the door when needed. The catch is everything runs on a single power source or a power meter, which is constantly draining.
Oh, so you have to balance out your power usage basically.
Yeah. You have to micromanage your power by everything consumes power. Like looking at the cameras consumes a bar, closing your door also consumes a bar, turning on the lights at the corners of your room to check right outside the door also consumes energy. So even doing nothing is consuming energy. But like if the more stuff you do, the more power it eats up. And
you're essentially a person that you're essentially a person that just can look only left and right and just press these knobs.
Left and right and on your screen, and that's it. The main goal is to survive until 6 a.m. because that's when I think that's when the store opens or that's when the staff comes in. So you have to keep your power on until 6 a.m.
Wow, okay.
It runs out, all the lights go out, and Freddy just appears in your door playing this creepy, like, music box jingle before he, eats you or something.
Oh, God. And this is like, it's pretty much just 5 nights trying to survive. And when I was checking out I saw your video, and I checked out other videos for people playing this. It's tense.
I don't know. I think you should stop at night 2 if you're watching it, because night 3 gets a little crazy.
Night 3
I'm not
gets
gonna say how and why. Night 3 gets a little crazy.
But since we have only 5 nights in this game, they do change up as you go forward as the Night Watch in this this place. It gets a little bit more complicated, or is it just more of a repetitive thing?
The pattern of the robots seem random, but they definitely get more aggressive each night. And then each night they start into new things that you have to watch out for. Like I said, night 1 and 2. In night 1, because there are 3 main robots. You can look in the very topmost camera, which is their storage area, I think. The bunny, which only attacks on the left side of the building.
Yeah.
So you only have to watch for your left side of the door when he's near. Then the duck, which goes on the right side.
Okay.
So once you figure that out, like, I just need to manage, I only need to look at certain areas, then decide when or not to close the door. Like, because, it doesn't tell you that they only attack on this side, but you can see their pattern in the cameras, that they never go to the other side. Then in night 2, the security guard calls you on the phone again and tells you about another robot. They
introduced more robots as time goes on.
It's like a wolf apparently he's broken, so they leave him in Pirate's Cove, and he's not supposed to come out. So in night 2, sometimes he'll just decide to show up. And his gimmick is he just runs straight up to your room. Like, if you don't keep your eye on him enough times. He doesn't jump from the room. You'll just see him running, like, fully animated 3D on your camera. And if you don't close your door in time, he gets you. That's crazy. When I saw the movie for the first time, like, I straight up screamed.
Yeah, because I remember.
How much is this game right now going for? It's early access still, right? As far as I understand.
I think it's out.
I don't think it's early access, but like it came out on IndieDB, and it right like at the day after it came out, I think it got greenlit on Steam, and it's only $5.
Only $5. Okay. Well,
Yeah, 'cause
more survival horror is always great, so...
Yeah, and with how simple this game is, or like all things considered, like it's really good.
just
and,
watching it. Just watching it is actually
it's
tense.
short, but since the patterns are random, like it's still up to the player, like how quick he can deal with all of this. And before I end, like in night 3, Freddy starts moving.
Dun, 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 dun.
What happens in 4 or
like,
5, I wonder?
The cameras are mostly in black and white,
Okay.
and they have a lot of static, so it's hard to see. But you can sort of like see a shadow of the robot, or like he's looking in the camera, or like he's right in front of the camera, so you know which room is he in.
Yeah.
The wolf is just in one room up until he runs towards you. Then he goes back to his room. But Freddy, you can only see his glowing eyes. And he's usually in spots that are hard to see unless you look at
Freddy is the bear, right?
Yeah, he's the main bear. So
my
like,
God.
he's the one to watch out for, I'd say. Like at least as far as I've gotten. Who
I'm
knows?
checking my corners right
What's
now.
This is in day 4 and 5.
That's pretty interesting because I wanted to hear your thoughts about it. Because when I was checking out some videos, your video and some other people's walkthroughs about it, it's definitely an awesome concept and just well done, really. Like it's very simple, but just watching it alone is already like very tense. Just like seeing when you check out the camera, all of a sudden he's gone, and then you're just frantically, where the fuck did he go? Where did he go? And all of a sudden, yeah, I saw that little wolf thing running past. I remember watching that video, and it's very tense. It's very scary. I'd love to buy it.
I thought this game was purely 2D up until that wolf part.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
yeah,
it's only $5, so not a big investment for what sounds to be like a really good, survival horror game.
Yeah, I think it's a cool. If you guys are like lacking some survival horror in your gaming, this seems like a good bet for you, especially for the ones who have PC. Like, if you guys,
if you're looking for a game to play for this Halloween, this is a really good choice.
Yeah.
And I guess my only issue with this is since it just came out, there's no like real option settings because it's not in like full 720p, and it automatically starts in full screen. And when you minimize it into windowed mode, it's there's no way to stretch the window or anything. And the way I do it, since we have to record it in windowed mode, is of course once you click outside of the screen, everything stops. Like the game is still running, but you have no control anymore.
Yeah.
And when you try to put it in full screen after windowed mode, since it doesn't encompass the whole 720, at least on mine, there are black edges which are just dead zones, which can really fuck you up if you're in a tense moment. But hope that might get fixed soon since it is on Steam right now, and I'm sure the guy is gonna update it somehow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's 5 Nights with Freddy.
So it's only 5 nights though, like the whole game, or
I'm not happy that I saw this, but when I looked at videos of it before getting it myself, I came across a video that said The Secret Day 6 and 7.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure if it's like a secret unlock or if it just happens, but damn.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm definitely gonna check it out. It's definitely something I'm gonna do for Halloween since we're like a month away technically.
Yes,
for
Halloween
October.
month will be scary.
Very interesting.
I think like each of us can play that because I'm sure everyone's gonna have a different way of handling it.
Oh yeah.
I suck at micromanaging. That's why I don't play RTS competitively. So that might be a thing.
Oh, so my RPM will matter in this one.
Maybe, I don't know. And the scares are like scary initially, but like once you figure out how the game works,
not
the
so
jump
scary.
scares a little predictable.
Well,
Like-
if it happens over and over, it'll eventually like wear out.
No, but I mean like in the part 2 of our video, which just went up now today, I failed to close the door on the left side fast enough,
Yeah.
and when I was clicking it, it was just giving me like an error sound when it wouldn't close. So I knew that the bunny was already in the room. So like, might as well get it over with and trigger it. And you look at the screen and look back and he's there.
Okay.
Leading up to that is still, pretty tense.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you have to restart the entire night when you die.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Some news.
A lot of big ones actually happened this week, or rather, last week. One major one I think is really huge is the fact that Amazon has officially bought Twitch for $970 million, which is close to, it's almost close. $1 billion, like they're short by 30. Okay, for one, for those who don't know Twitch is a live streaming website for everybody to stream their games and pretty much have everybody check them out, and enjoy and chat with them. And this is only a 3-year website, and it just blew up. It's just like, I think right now they have now reached 1 million active viewers per month, and that speaks volumes really on how much Twitch has grown. And now we see Amazon, the one of the biggest online retailers, to actually officially buy Twitch. And why is it a big deal? It just feels like Amazon pretty much bought themselves into the gaming industry by getting Twitch now, because Twitch has now become a major factor in either marketing or even in game features. Just like how the PS4 has and the Xbox One now has a very quick and easy broadcast feature where you can just go straight up and view live stream your game through the Twitch channel. And at the same time, when it comes to marketing, people are playing games live stream. It's just free marketing. Everybody's seeing it. Now that Amazon bought it, it's like they bought pretty much the whole idea of how to view or enjoy a game. So what do you guys think about Amazon getting Twitch, or actually Twitch being this big overall?
Well, my first question is, how does Twitch exactly make money? Because
just like in any other site, ads,
right?
Sponsorships,
okay.
Yeah. And
it's for me, it's a little puzzle. I think this is Amazon's kind of way to as another delivery vehicle for content, because Amazon basically is a giant media store, right? You can buy books, movies, games, whatever. So I guess the technology, at least for Twitch, is something they could possibly use to maybe start their own streaming service, stuff like that. I doubt they would touch Twitch itself. It's doing fine on its own, and I don't really see their core competency being in gaming. So if they were smart, they might just leave Twitch as is, but look at the technology behind it and then use that to develop new services with the Amazon brand. That's how I hope they will handle it. What I hope will not happen is they'll start, making it like YouTube, where they'll throw in ads every 30 minutes or some shit like that, right?
Yeah. What about you, Migs? We occasionally stream, and we know Twitch ever since it started. How is it when now Amazon pretty much officially owns now Twitch TV?
Honestly, I don't know what to expect about from Amazon with this, because who knows how they'll handle it. But I think this is really what cements them jumping into the gaming whatever market. Because you remember they bought what company was that? The Killer Instinct dudes.
Oh yeah, they bought those.
They bought a studio.
They bought Double Helix. They released an Android, was it?
Yeah.
The Google Fire Play, and now they're also releasing their own smartphones. So I guess they realize gaming is a big form of media, and they're trying to jump into it, and this is a big way to get in there. But management wise, and how they're gonna, benefit from this, I don't know. But I'm more optimistic with this than if Google bought Twitch.
Yeah, which is the first actual rumor, because they were saying that Google kind of offered Twitch around $1 billion for the
Yeah,
buyout.
around May of this year, apparently.
Yeah, around this year. So people were like wondering, oh, is this Twitch finally, gonna be in the same flag as YouTube and whatnot? And apparently no, Amazon got it officially. And quickly after the announcement, the Twitch CEO released a letter saying that they chose Amazon because they believe in our community, they share our values and long-term vision, and they want us to help us get there faster. We're keeping mostly everything the same. Our office, our employees, our brand, and most importantly, our independence. But with Amazon's support, we'll have the resources to bring you an even better Twitch. So they're moving forward. They're happy with actually choosing Amazon, and they think, because it's a really young company. Like I said, it's only 3 years, and then it just blew up. In terms of the history of Twitch, this is actually just a child.
It spawned from Justin TV and actually absorbed it.
Yeah, the child actually absorbed its parent, because Justin TV is actually the main site, and it's pretty much just a site where anybody can live stream from their computer anything that they want, what's going on in their day, and then eventually they had a category which is gaming, and that category just pretty much grew and grew and just became Twitch TV in a span of 3 years, and now it's just huge. It helps esports, it helps marketing in new games, it helps
charity events as well.
Charity events, like the speed demo archives, they do something every year, and that's
and the extra live stuff.
Yeah, the extra live stuff. This site has grown so big to the point that major companies like Sony and Microsoft have made in their next gen console a built-in feature that revolves around live streaming. They know how important it is for gamers. For me, I don't really understand it, but I understand it on the esports aspect and the charity aspect. But we have also people going to channels to watch someone play a game for the first time and then chat with the group. And essentially, this is also a website that actually just grows communities, because like I said, the live streamers who broadcast these games turn out to be personalities, and then they actually make their mini communities and they get popular.
And it's also a point where we see a lot of these weird experiments, like Twitch plays Pokemon, or the fish.
Very, very entertaining
fish
experiments.
Social experiments.
Yeah. So who knows what else would come out in the future.
Yeah,
but
man.
it's none of that. I can't say Amazon will definitely get some sort of benefit being attached to it.
Yeah, and then since it's like what Mickey was saying, Amazon buying Twitch, they instantly cement themselves on the gaming industry, because that's tapping millions of people.
If all their buying Double Helix, making a console wasn't enough, buying a dedicated gaming streaming site, I'd say that pretty much means that they're in there.
Yeah, they're in there,
and they want to get in there.
Yeah, I just hope though they don't block off from people streaming. I doubt they will, but it's always one of those things when you have this big corporate non-gaming entity controlling a very important gaming site. There's always that tiny risk that they'll just
the corporate aspect.
The corporate aspect will just swallow it up. It's like, hey, why are we letting these Microsofts and Sonys?
Yeah, and
that
already sort of happened with the archives thing that were muted. And not just that, but I think Twitch has removed the feature to permanently save your archives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it just hangs out for 2 weeks and then it gets deleted now.
All right.
So, that might be Amazon's doing as well, or maybe a migrate to a different server. But who knows?
Yeah, for better insight for those who how big Twitch is. In terms of internet traffic, they're ranked number 4 in the world. They're just behind Apple, Google, and Netflix. And that's big.
And not even Facebook? Or
Facebook, they're beating.
No, in
Facebook
terms of video, I guess.
Video, yeah. It's in terms of video traffic.
Okay.
People are watching in Twitch, and they beat Facebook, they beat Hulu, they beat Valve, Amazon, Pandora, Tumblr. But their next competitor, of course, is Apple, and then next is Google, and Netflix is pretty much dominating the market. But for a 3-year-old company and it's just one. It's a niche streaming video service, and it's number 4. So there's there's definitely a market for it. Surprisingly, I didn't think people would like enjoy this. I didn't think it would be that big.
I don't know,
it's now
man.
number 4.
For me, watching Let's Plays has, for the most part, replaced television in terms of entertainment.
Okay, how I see it now, my sports is now half like the regular, basketball, NBA, PBA, whatever. That's now jumped to half.
Those, but like the default, like I want to watch something right now.
No, I'm saying it's that
look at the net first.
my viewing of like those sports are now cut in half because I'd like to also watch the tournaments for esports, like Evo on Twitch,
esports,
right,
MLG. Like it's now part of like my whole concept of sports, and then also E3 Live, watching it in Twitch, whatnot. Like there are so many shows, and there are actually so many cool personalities, live streamers who live stream their games. Are actually very entertaining to watch, especially if it's like a simple let's play against Dark Souls, seeing the guy die over and over, or just someone just like playing D3 and just making good conversation between the community. There's like so many different ways to entertain and just enjoy this Twitch.
Arguing with people in chat.
Making an actual drama between, I don't know,
whoever. There are some people who just go into the chat to cause havoc and don't actually watch the streamers. Like the chat is having their own conversation.
And he just shows up and just becomes a troll. Flat out troll.
It's amazing.
So it's just amazing now that
there's
Amazon's
really the market, and I think Amazon, has like gotten a hint of that.
Got a hint of that, and it's like, I think it's one of their overall plans, because like, I think months ago, even before Valve announced their Steam box, their whole idea of releasing a console, people are still like debating whether it's going to be Amazon or Valve announcing their console first. Obviously, Valve did it first, but there was rumor that Amazon's working on a console. So
or at least like Amazon will have their own version of the Steam box.
Yeah, or their version of the Steam box. So. And then, like what May said earlier, like they bought an actual gaming studio, which is Double Helix, creator of Strider and the new Killer Instinct. So they're definitely making something. Like I don't have a full picture of it, but all of these rumors
they're
together
doing
with
it
Amazon,
relatively fast.
Yeah, fast too.
Like when did they buy Double Helix? I think early this year.
Earlier this year.
Then I think also their console came out like mid this year, that Android box or something that nobody paid attention.
Yeah, they're moving. They're not only moving in gaming. They also have now mobile, the actual phones, smartphones.
Yeah, the Amazon Fire Phone.
Yeah, so Amazon's very
with their own
now.
Play Store, I think.
Yep, they're very, very aggressive this year. So it's very exciting to see. And now we'll just have to see how Twitch will react. Hopefully, Twitch stays the same. Like as is, we'll have to wait and see, because we don't know how like Amazon would reflect. Will we see Amazon sponsorships or like buy now here buttons or whatnot? Because they do have a store, so
it could be also one of those things like you like what you're watching, buy it now on Amazon and get a discount
like that.
Oh yeah, that will work, I think, for most people.
Yeah, it's not something I would mind, because it's such a natural integration of.
As long as it's not like in your face.
In your face, exactly. Yeah.
For those who are wondering why people live stream it, because if you become really famous and you get actual followers, Twitch pays you, and we have like a good amount of personalities in Twitch where it's now their full-time job that they can actually manage their livelihood by doing this.
Remember
that's how big Twitch is now.
Remember the YouTube sort of copyright purge from like late last year?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like LPers and YouTube people migrated to Twitch after that because of the Twitch's leniency to using copyrighted material.
Yeah.
And with Twitch's new partnership, whatever thing where followers could actually subscribe and give money to the streamer was added.
It was like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think it became a very viable alternative to YouTube for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember it's like $5 if you want to subscribe and support the channel or the personality. And I remember people were saying that ideally the streamer gets only half of that subscription. So it's $5, and then you actually get $2.50, and then Twitch gets the rest.
Yeah, so that's how Twitch makes money, I guess.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, and then don't that's separate from the actual like advertising.
The ads itself, yeah.
Yeah,
and
because
you know Maximilian, of course, the fighting game dude, the blonde Jesus guy. You have people making multiple accounts just to subscribe and have a crazy name.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The way he sets it up is each new subscriber will show up on stream with the sound clip Ultra Combo playing, and they make up these crazy names that like have context with what's happening on stream, like for I guess comic effect. But that's still $5.
So, yep, exactly.
Then you have to give, I think, that every month if you want to stay subscribed.
Yeah. And then to top it all off, you can actually put a donate button if you really want to get more support. Yeah. And we have those personalities going like showing up whenever a donation shows up, like, I got $10, and then there's a comment, thanks for blah blah blah. So there's a lot of people that actually have now used Twitch TV as their full-time job, and that just speaks volumes of how big Twitch TV is really at this point, and how, like, I think they actually had their own booth, for example, in PAX and also in E3. Like Twitch had a whole team, and they used their personalities as their staff to cover E3, like Manager's Game. I think Maximilian was there or something. Like they're all there in a team, and then they're just covering E3. Like they have a lot of resources, they have a lot of money going through. And sadly, we can't use Twitch TV at all here in the Philippines because our internet sucks. Just saying.
Yep, straight up.
Sadly.
We'd use it more. We tried for the past 4 years now.
We're trying like every now and then.
Like circa 2011. We've been Justin TV days, man.
Oh yeah, we actually tried that in Justin TV. But yeah, that's awesome. I think it's better off for Amazon to buy Twitch than Google.
You know what this makes me think of with the whole Amazon buying every gaming thing there is out there?
What?
It's like how there are just Family Mart convenience stores
popping up everywhere,
suddenly all over the place.
Dude, I want Family Mart to like dominate the market. I want mini stop gone.
I like Family Mart because it's a bit more
exactly because they're good, and like the guy really did.
I love their ice cream.
Oh my god!
Whoever the owner of that is, I think he intentionally really put up multiple stores at the same time.
Okay.
So that he can just get his name out there quickly. Like how Mini Stop started out really slow.
Yeah.
Before, where they opened up in certain areas and then gradually grew, or like how most businesses do. This guy just went like balls out, like I'm gonna open 10 stores at the same time in all of these places. Like there are, I think, 3 or 4 in the Ortigas area alone.
Dude,
and all walking distance apart.
You can get sushi for breakfast if you want.
Yeah.
Twirl all you can, green tea ice cream.
Oh my god, twirl all you can. I tried
twirl all you can
is
the best thing ever, yeah.
I know. We've veered away from video games thanks to Family Mart. Which, by the way, they're franchising now, if anybody wants to franchise.
Maybe we should do that.
I know. Maybe Amazon should franchise
Maybe Amazon will notice us or something. Amazon Senpai.
Moving on. Something Twitch TV, Amazon, that's a very good light, very positive thing. Now let's go on a more, well, you guys think it's a more positive light. You know what I mean? But this negative.
Are we talking about Rovio?
Yes, sir. Rovio is in a horrible position, and the CEO of Rovio has resigned. And for those who don't know, Rovio is the developer or the company who made Angry Birds.
Yep. Are still making Angry Birds.
I'm still making Angry Birds.
Just to give you an idea of
nowhere.
Yeah, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on there. This is a quote from the news article. The move came after Rovio's profits fell 52%.
Holy shit! That's a big number.
I can't even put a straight.
That's like Life Choices in The Walking Dead.
To 26.9 million euros in fiscal 2013.
Oh, euros too, so it's even bigger.
But I mean, like 26.9 million euros is still a ton of money. But I guess
that's a lot of money.
I guess like they had more than double this before. While at the same time, staff headcount ballooned from 500 to 800 personnel. So they're getting more people and they're making a lot less money. So it seems like the Angry Birds train is finally coming to a stop.
I'm surprised it lasted this long, to be honest.
I didn't know it was still going. I thought it was dead.
No, but I mean, you saw all the stupid stuff they were coming out with. They had the Transformers Angry Birds, and then
That's not even out yet.
that's not
far as
out.
I know.
Well, they also had the Angry Birds karting. I
The
remember
Angry Birds karting.
That
They
was
had
okay.
the
And the Angry Birds Epic.
Angry Birds Epic, and then I think that girl bird is getting a game also.
Oh yeah, the Disney princess.
Disney Princess, yeah.
Yeah. So they created a Disney princess for Angry Birds, and she was so magical.
Alongside this news, also we got a report here that King, the guys who make Candy Crush, are also they're pretty much slated to become the next Zynga Wall Street
Zynga
bus.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Here on Tuesday, the company said its second quarter bookings fell by $30 million, or 5% from the first quarter, to $611 million. The decline was, so basically the problem is people are not playing Candy Crush as much, and they don't have any second game, to show to anyone.
Maybe they spend their money on just, suing people for using candy.
Maybe. You use Burger King.
Well, for me, when you say, I think this is a good thing in a way, because it's a good lesson to learn that you can't go, these giant IPOs on the single game. Like, it's ridiculous how this is happening again after Zynga. I'm quite surprised actually that King actually went public with just one game on there.
Yeah, that's really ballsy and really stupid.
Yep.
We actually had that's actually 3 companies that went all ballsy and went on the same model, and earned a lot of money and just never evolved.
Yeah.
Because that's Zynga is pretty much Farmville, King is Candy Crush, and Angry Birds is Rovio is Angry Birds. Yeah, if you guys see their product, which is Angry Birds, from the start, and you see it now, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
And it's the only thing that pretty much describes the company. There's nothing else.
No,
And the same thing for each and every one of those.
For me, like, why I think that this is a good thing, because, Rovio, while they did innovate eventually with their games, I think they did it way too late. Like, they went through, 5 or more regular-esque Angry Bird mods before jumping into the spin-offs, like the kart racing and the RPG, which, Will, you think the RPG is okay, right? And I think the kart one's okay.
But frankly, I also think that people are just tired of Angry Birds. Like,
yeah, but
I'm tired of birds having no wings.
No, but if you're gonna make an RPG, fine, make an RPG. But why
with different characters?
Why throw Angry Birds in it?
Remember, they did try to make a game after Angry Birds, and it tanked really hard.
Yeah, it did. I remember that.
That's why they're putting Angry Birds in everything. And I guess up until this point, it's been working, right? So you really can't knock them off. What I don't like is how they were so up their own ass that they actually, I think it was the same CEO. He actually claimed that home consoles are dead and mobile is the thing.
And that's what I think all of them have always said. Zynga said that, King said that. A lot of people keep saying that, but they keep.
And now it's biting them in the butt.
It bites them back in the butt, yeah. So for me, I think it's just a good lesson learned overall for these guys.
No, it's a big lesson learned, and the reason why I think it's just you can't put your eggs in one basket is because
Angry Birds.
they're. Fun. I'm sorry. It's their market. Majority of their market is casual gamers. They're playing your Angry Birds, they're playing their Farmville and their candy stuff to kill time, to go on by their day. They're not really they're still gamers. They're still playing the game, but they're there to kill time. That's majority of what they do, especially in mobile gaming. Now, if a new game comes up.
Like, most of the people playing these games don't even know who the company that made those games are.
Yeah. And
no one cares about it. I mean, they think,
no one playing, I'm taking a shit and I want to tap these jewels for fun, yo.
No, my point is that 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 need of playing those kinds of games like Angry Birds, Candy Crush can be easily replaced by the newest game that comes out that's also free to play, like another Candy Crush or another Angry Birds. And so the value and the relevance of or the connection between their customer and what just simply goes away. Like there's no much care. Like, oh, I love these characters, but the majority of their market is it's Angry Birds. But oh crap, this is
It's
really
like the girlfriend who doesn't really love you.
yeah, like their community or their fan base just completely can shift at any time that they want. They cannot. They're having a hard time controlling it. I think Angry Birds is the only one among the three that have a foothold because kids like how Angry Birds look. I mean, their characters are actually more
Recognizable, yeah.
recognizable and appealing to kids. Because my nephew is watching a DVD about Angry Birds fighting Transformers. I mean, it's weird, but he knows Angry Birds, unlike Candy Crush and Farmville.
Which don't really have characters.
Yeah, that's just a game, So it's hard. It's just also the market, which is why I think they could have. I don't know. Maybe they tried, like you said, they made a new game, but I just think they could have tried harder with all the money they've earned from those games, from those franchises. They could have.
Where did the money go? I guess.
They could have just I don't know. They could have at least delved into PC development, throw an indie out there or something. There's so many ways. I really can't say for themselves. I don't know what exactly happened. We don't really know the actual details, but it's just a sad. The reason why I think it's a bad thing is because this is still obviously some people's jobs, and eventually they will lose.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about this. That people might end up losing their jobs for sure. But
but that happens in every.
No, I know, and I'm just saying it's a bad thing because
just because of the sheer number.
And there's also a lot of companies in the same boat, and we might just see a complete a domino effect, if you know what I mean. Everybody will also have that problem, and then all of a sudden we're just going to be filled with the same thing over and over. Because if you check the mobile gaming right now, it's just filled with the same thing. If one is famous, everybody will follow suit.
Yeah, they're all clones.
Yeah, so if one falls, everybody else will fall, pretty much.
That's why people are predicting the next video game crash will come soon.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Because if Angry Birds is filled with is behind so many clones and whatnot, and if they fall, what's the bigger chance of the rest also falling, you know what I mean? So it's also a warning, and we'll have to see in the future how it will hold. Because I think it's really bad. We'll see. But this is what I'm saying. This is separate from the mobile gaming in the console market. Because we've seen, last episode we mentioned that PS4 is just throwing units out the window, and so we'll have to see.
I need to find that window and wait underneath.
I'm sure you won't catch it. I'm sure it's so small, it's black, and it happens at night.
Right.
Well, as long as there's no animatronic bear there, it's fine.
You're screwed. Anyway, yeah, so that's happening with the whole mobile company, Rovio.
It's about time.
It's about time.
To be honest.
Moving on, let's go to Nintendo. Something good. Nintendo has finally announced Nintendo has finally announced a new 3DS, which is called
the new 3DS.
They're releasing a 3DS, new 3DS, and new 3DS XL basically
in Japan.
Yeah, there's two versions of it. So
I'm happy about the style because they're already confusing enough, and they just simply said it's a new 3DS instead of saying it's a.
Who knows? It might not be an official name yet, but people are calling it new 3DS.
There's really box art for it. I'm sure that's the official one already.
Such a dumb name, dude.
I'm okay. I don't want to add any more to the name. They're confusing enough with 2DS. They're so confusing with the 2DS already.
My 3DS brother, DS, 3 dual screen, dual stick.
I shit you not, my brother, when he was asking what games do I buy for because he bought a 2DS and a 3DS for his 3DS for his older son and a 2DS for his younger son, and he was asking me what games do I buy? Now get this. He's like, dude. What about the 2DS games? I'm like, there's no 2DS games.
Yeah, it's like same thing.
It's like that dad who didn't know the difference between the Wii and the Wii U in the shop.
Yeah, no, but he's also a gamer, and it's like, wait, so you're telling me that 3DS games is also 2DS games? Yeah, it's just doesn't have the 2D feature. I explained that, right? And he says, what the fuck? That's just dumb. I mean, what? It doesn't make any sense. Bad messaging, and thank God, like, for the new 3DS, they didn't bother putting any other title. It's just
It's still called 3DS.
It's just simple. Yeah, it's like, bam, okay, cool. So they announced the new 3DS. The sizes, I don't know, it looks the same to me in terms of.
The measurements came out. They're like a few millimeters wider.
Yeah.
Like, I think at the most a half, like in overall size. But I think the screens are also slightly bigger.
And this will come out as the regular size 3DS and the XL version.
Yep. I think it'll replace the current models, which is probably why, like, for me, I'm thinking that they will not change the name because it will just like phase out the older models.
And aside from that, they added a couple of new features. For one, I think it's one of the biggest one. I'm not sure. I forgot what they call it, but they actually added. There you go, the C-stick, an actual right stick because we had those 3DS games where, like, for example, Monster Hunter or even like Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus game, yeah.
I think they're launching games, for Christ's sake. Struggled with the fact that they had only one joystick. This is the first 3DS will have a second
built-in,
one.
yeah.
A built-in small one. I don't even know how that will work. It's smaller than the actual buttons.
I have a feeling it'll work like, in some earlier laptops they had that little nub in the keyboard.
Oh, that's how it's going to feel like?
The track point, yeah.
I think it might be like that.
I think it'll work better than the Circle Pad Pro, like in terms of how it'll feel.
Okay, yeah,
because it's called the C-stick. Like, remember the GameCube? It had a C-stick. And the N64 had the C buttons, which the primary control scheme for those was camera, thus the letter C. So for the most part, like, it'll just be for camera controls, and having a small stick, I think, would be okay for that, as opposed to the huge Circle Pad Pro.
For me, I'm actually wondering if they fix the 3D at all, because I have an XL.
They did.
The sweet spot is so small on it that you can't really play it unless you're in a specific position. I can't really play it in 3D, rather, I should say. Unless you're in a very specific eye level,
Then you find it and you stop moving.
And yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping like this new one made it a little bit bigger, so there's a bit more, range of motion.
No, they fixed that. They actually mentioned that as a feature. I remember, like, when we were featuring the 2DS, I think it was our second episode, or our first episode. Like, we were saying that, okay, the fact that they're releasing 2DS means that they might be ditching 3DS as a whole. That's what I was saying before. Now, them releasing 3DS again, and a newer model, and then they're still having 3D, means, okay, they're not really, dishing it. They improve it.
They're trying to cement the name of 3DS. Because they're already in the rabbit hole.
That too, yeah, that's true. But yeah, they improved the 3D version, and instead of finding that sweet spot, you have now the camera being creepy on you by falling where the hell your head is.
Oh.
So technically that sweet spot is trying to find you. Like,
it'll track your face.
Yeah, if you're on the side for some weird reason, like the eye will try to adjust itself so that the sweet spot is directly at your eye, so it won't really.
That's some like Kinect tech.
Dude, that's
tracking. That's
cool. Some creepy stuff, man. Like stalking you and all.
It's watching you sleep.
It's watching you. Yeah, if you don't
in
close
3D.
it'll watch you in 3D. But yeah, what Will was saying, that was the issue. They apparently found a pretty cool concept, or a fix for it. So that's pretty cool. A little bit of adjustments of where the card is and other changes. Oh, like the buttons, for example, are actually
colored for the smaller version. I think the XL will have single color.
Single color, but I think the letters have only the color. In the smaller version, it has the whole buttons actually colored.
Yeah, like the.
Whereas the bigger one, the text only in the button was the only one that's colored.
It's a nice design.
It's a nice design. It actually resembles the Nintendo controller.
The GameCube controller?
No. Actually, puede. But the Super Nintendo controller.
Oh, yeah.
The colors,
or M&M buttons.
Yeah, the green, blue, red, and blue and yellow. And yeah, we have a new 3DS coming in, and I have no idea if we're gonna get a new one again after this. Like, is this the final form? I mean,
like what I'm hoping is that the games that they showed off for this, because they showed off Monster Hunter 4 and I think Super Smash Brothers.
yeah.
I hope that those games will still support the Circle Pad Pro, so that none of the older people who bought it will get gypped.
I feel like I feel like it was perfect for me to just wait, because this is like how many iterations of the damn system. Like,
And with only like less than 10 games that actually have dual stick support,
yeah,
and I think 3 of them are only in Japan as well.
yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
but at least
Hopefully, more developers will release games that will use the second stick as well.
But I've never seen. Well, I don't know, but maybe you can refresh my memory about the DS. But was it the same amount of like reiterations of the model?
The DS had the DS Lite, the DSi, and then the DSi
XL.
So they had 4 iterations of the DS.
Okay, that's a lot. Okay, so that seems okay if you put it that way.
But it's an average about 3 to 4. I think the Game Boy Advance had only
The Game Boy
3.
Advance went through 3.
Yeah.
The Game Boy Advance Vanilla, the one that looks like a PSP.
And the Game Boy
SP,
SP, and then the
folded-
Micro.
Yeah, and then the Micro. Then even the Game Boy Pocket went through a bunch of other redesigns.
Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color.
Then Game Boy,
Light?
there was a Game Boy Light, which was the Pocket with a backlight. Then you
with
had the color.
the yeah, I remember that because you can't play the game without light.
They also had like some body changes because I had a Pocket Color which the backside was rounded, while all the other pockets had a parang flat square like. So I don't know. That's a new SKU, I guess.
But I like the fact that now they announced this, but thank God I waited, because it seems like a perfect 3DS if ever I finally decide to buy this handheld. It is, well, the new Nintendo 3DS will be priced at 16,000 yen, or rather $154, and the new
Not bad.
and the new Nintendo 3DS XL will be priced at $181, which is like 18.
That's still not bad.
That's not
Yeah.
bad at all.
It's not bad at all. That's which is why I'm like,
new here.
If you consider the 2DS also as an iteration, then you're at the 4th one already.
you think they'll stop from here at this point? Like, I think
they could go through one more, because in my mind, the XL is already like coexisting with the regular for me. Because like now they're releasing both XL and regular with the new C stick at the same time, so I'd count that as one generation.
I might actually buy the normal one instead of the XL, because I remember I was checking out my nephew's XL. It seems a bit too big. I think
Like it sucks when you hold it, right?
yeah.
I told you.
The 2DS feels better, to be honest. Like holding it wise. Like, of course, the XL has a bigger screen, but the 2DS in terms of comfort, in terms of like enjoying the game
2DS
with the
is lighter,
hands,
it's better in your
lighter.
hands.
Yeah.
More durable.
And I think the normal 3DS would also be the same boat. The XL
Normal
just feels
3DS
like
is metallic. It's sexy.
the XL or the LL. Like you just have to put it on the table and then play it or something. But yeah, there's gonna be a new one. It's gonna be it'll be out in October 11 in Japan. I think it's the perfect time for like just to be somewhat close to Super Smash Brothers.
Yep.
For the 3DS, I think they're gonna most likely we'll see a bundle with the new Smash Brothers.
I don't think we'll see a Smash Bros. Version of it yet, because they just announced a Smash Bros. Version of the old XL 3DS.
Oh, okay.
So maybe in December, I guess.
But
And I'm predicting we'll see a US release maybe summer of next year.
yeah, there's no word about a US release for this new Nintendo 3DS.
We're sure we're gonna get that. There's no
It'll eventually show
doubt
up,
we're
but
gonna get
it'll
that.
mostly. But there's nothing yet for 2014. So we'll see the new 3DS shipping maybe in sometime around 2015. But of course, Japan gets first dibs. But I don't know. I guess I'm still not used to the whole handheld, just like jumping like from iteration to iteration.
It just feels so much faster these days.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess
then.
that's right. Yeah. Because that's what I'm feeling. Like, wow, already?
Because we're old.
We're we are.
I remember back in the day we had no money, so like every gen counts. and we play one game
What are you talking about? Even now, every gem counts.
No, but like when
I know what you mean.
changes SKUs, it felt like a much bigger deal. Now it's just like, oh, they're doing it again.
So for those who are thinking about buying a 3DS, heads up, there's a new one coming on. I advise you guys to just wait for next year.
Or you can buy the ones now, because I'm sure they're going to drop in price really soon.
Yeah, that's true. You can wait for the price drop.
Because I'm sure people are like handing out their like 3DS right now because the new one's coming out anyway. So there's gonna be a change going on in the next in a couple of months.
Be a change, because I doubt like people. I hope devs will make games that support the C stick, but I doubt that's still gonna happen.
I doubt it, but I just think that the C stick. Okay, if we're going back to the C stick, I just really think that ship has sailed. Like I think they could have had the C stick earlier because that's one of the important games with those features are like needed. Like the Monster Hunter and like the Kid.
There's only a handful of games that can support it, but the games that do support it need it.
Yeah, but maybe we're seeing like the handheld like having a more stronger lineup in terms of like camera control, because it's essentially they'll have more games available.
They're like
for
little
3DS.
consoles now.
Pretty much, yes, pretty much. But they have more variations now. The fact that they have the C stick, they're not that limited to like, for example, platformers or whatnot.
That'll make Smash Bros easier.
Pretty much. Like I think the Smash Brothers, to do the ultimate Smash or something, you have to press that. You have to use that.
Yeah, it's a shortcut to a Smash attack.
Yeah.
In versus mode.
So yeah, that's a new 3DS heading our way. And
I hope that shit's durable, man. Smash Bros is coming.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's a fighting game. That's a very hectic fighting game too. But those are the major things that happened within this week. Very small announcement that came up at the end of August. For those who are waiting for Dragon Age Inquisition, the multiplayer feature of it has finally been revealed, and it is pretty much the bastard child of Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. And I don't know about you, Will, but this is based on the success of Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. I'm pretty excited for this one because I had a lot of fun with the multiplayer of Mass Effect. And this one is exactly the same.
The multiplayer was fun, but I just wasn't too hot on how it was integrated into the single player. Like this was back in the day before they patched it, so you didn't need to play multiplayer to get the maximum score in Mass Effect. Yeah. But I think it's okay now.
Well, for one, EA mentioned that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in itself, the multiplayer was pretty fun, so there's nothing wrong with that by itself.
No, but BioWare's already mentioned that with the difference between Mass Effect and Dragon Age, like yes, Mass Effect had kind of like a connection with the single player. This one, there's no connection. There's no like contribution to the single player aspect. This is just purely a multiplayer thing that you can do with friends, and it's not a competitive multiplayer. It is a co-op multiplayer, where you will be playing with as one character. You get to choose like a series of classes, and you can level them up, just like similar to the Mass Effect 3. And you can band up or match with other players, and you pretty much go through a dungeon, like similar to maybe like the Dragon Age dungeons, and then pretty much complete it, get gear, level up. I think there's also a crafting system. It's very deep, but I'm okay with that because, like I said, like based on the reception on the multiplayer of Mass Effect, I'm pretty excited. And I know you didn't like Mass Effect 3, but the overall of the game was still, I didn't feel it was hindered, thanks to
by the ending. By
multiplayer being developed. Like it didn't affect it. Like it was okay. So I think I'm actually welcoming for the first time this addition to a franchise that's mostly single player, and we'll see as we move on. Another one, for those like wanting another more of Saints Row 4, they have now announced a standalone DLC, and it's pretty much Gat Out of Hell, and that's simply like one of the characters like going to hell. But it's a standalone DLC. You can play it. And not only did they announce this, they also announced that they'll be releasing a new version of Saints Row 4 on the next-gen platforms, PS4 and Xbox One, which will be called the Re-Elected Edition.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that will include, of course, the newly announced DLC, which is Gat into Hell. Gat Out of Hell, and of course everything else of Saints Row 4. So, did anybody play Saints Row 4 though?
No,
I want to, but I don't have it.
now that there's an advanced version coming, I might just do so.
There's an advanced version coming, and yeah, I might do it too, because I remember playing the demo of it, and I was pretty excited, because that's superpowers, yo.
And that was weird, crazy shit going on. You had a dubstep gun and everything.
Yeah, that was
I played 3. 3 was fun, but I can see how 4 is much more fun.
Yeah, they announced this at PAX, and the trailer's already up. You guys can check it out. This standalone expansion will, of course, for those who are not upgrading to the next gen platforms, it will not require a previous copy of Saints Row 4, and it'll be out. Yeah, it's a standalone, so it'll be released on PC, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4 on January 27, 2015. That's still next year, but they announced it. More Saints Row for us guys, so cool.
Johnny Gat isn't on Dive Kick yet, and they announced that a long time ago. And now they announced a new DLC with him in it, and he's still not in Dive Kick.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry, I just played Dive Kick a while ago.
Yeah, you just did. I saw that.
I was wondering where he was.
Another one, Yakuza just came out of the spotlight. They're actually making a prequel.
Yes, a prequel which we will likely never see in the West because
I think this has a bigger chance of getting localized than the other ones.
The Yakuza 5? We're still waiting for 5.
Yeah, but remember, this new one is about Kiryu.
It's about, isn't the other one also about him and then the other characters?
5 is, but it's about him and other characters. I think this one's just gonna be him.
No, it's him and the other guy, the crazy dude with the eye patch.
Oh, the eye patch guy.
Yeah. It's the prequel for those two characters.
Yeah, I think a prequel would have more story impact though.
I don't know. I mean, the problem with Yakuza is that they just don't. It's just so Japanese.
It's just what does that mean?
Dude,
just
look at one Yakuza game. You'll understand.
You can play Mahjong and you can play Hanafuda cards.
You can manage a hostess bar.
I keep saying that this is like Shenmue reincarnated Yakuza. So.
Because it is.
It's just in the Japanese era.
It's Shenmue with more violence.
With more violence.
And more girls.
I guess, I'm not sure when they announced, but they're getting a prequel for this, Yakuza 0. And it's a prequel to
if anything,
the whole
this
series.
has a bigger chance of getting localized than the ancient Japan one.
Ishin probably not, but I still want
want Ishin though.
I do want
Samurai
Yakuza. I do want Yakuza 5 still also, so.
Everyone wants Yakuza 5.
I have to play
except Sega.
Except
Sega doesn't like money,
No, but they like pachinko though.
They do love their
That's where most of their money comes from.
Pachinko's pretty cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
All right, moving on. Crap, I forgot to put this on together. Going back to Smash Bros. There's new characters.
Yep.
New characters.
Leaks galore, and Sakurai finally admitted one was real.
Yep. And this one is actually another surprise. Well, surprise meaning I didn't think.
No, I don't think so, because everyone has been clamoring about this guy for a while.
Really?
Yep.
Is Xenoblade Chronicles really that? Okay, the new character is called is from Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's Shulk.
It's got the stupidest fucking name.
And is it really a big community already with Xenoblade Chronicles? Like to
I
the
think
point
out of all of the Operation Rainfall games, Xenoblade is the favorite, and they are getting a sequel on the Wii U, so this makes a lot of sense.
That's true. It actually supports with the whole the upcoming Xenoblade game. But yeah, they announced this character, and what do you think?
It's cool. I just hate his name, dude.
I always thought it was a She-Hulk, but yeah.
Exactly. It's fine. I think the different types he has, the defense, the speed, and the offense, are an interesting play. and I'm sure one of them is going to be completely useless because fighting games. But that's my other beef with this is there's too many sword wielders in Smash Bros. Now.
There's so many humans in this Smash Brothers. Like so many.
There are 4 Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah, there's like these like Fire Emblem characters, Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't know who else, but they're all high fantasy. And then you're like, if you put that together in like a big poster, when all of a sudden you see Bowser, and all of a sudden you see Kirby, and all of a sudden you see Samus, it just feels. They feel out of place. I don't know. I don't know.
No, but for real, if they keep announcing characters, I have no problem. But if they stop here, then there's a problem.
Do you think that there's more to come?
I think there's more, but I hope there's more than like I'm thinking there is.
I hope Bayonetta's a character.
That's not going to be a thing, though. You know that's not, because that's Zero Suit Samus now. But there's still a lot of older cast members that haven't been confirmed.
Yeah,
there's a lot of leaks that haven't also been confirmed. Like there are multiple leaks. Like the Shulk was part of one of the newest leaks that was on video, so that seems the most legitimate. Like apparently an ESRB guy phone cammed the character select screen. Then people got a glimpse of Ganondorf, Shulk, and who are the other ones?
Ganondorf seems right.
There was a new leak that just came out now. Not really a leak, but in the new Japanese trailer for Smash Bros. 3DS, somebody caught a glimpse of Ganondorf, like a really tiny picture of Ganondorf being flown off screen. Like, the bubble that appears when you're off screen? Somebody caught a glimpse of a dude with a gray cape that looks like Ganondorf, so I'm guessing that cements the leak. And, he's an old cast member, so I'm sure he's going to come back.
What are you
expecting?
Still worried. What are you expecting to be like one of those shocker like new reveals for Smash Brothers? Is there anybody you kind of want to
the Duck Hunt dog was a pretty interesting one, like the earlier image leaks from this week.
Duck Hunt?
Yeah, like
the dog is
the Duck Hunt dog and duck, because they're on the same picture.
Oh my god!
Smash Bros. Rules, if they're in the picture, they're in the game. So I hope that's true, because that's going to be really interesting. And that's a cool addition. Yeah, and like apparently that only like the Duck Hunt love doesn't work in Japan. Like they don't understand why we like it so much. The same goes with Little Mac. Like they don't understand why the rest of the world likes.
I would have liked to see a Professor Layton, actually. Because he is a Nintendo character, for the most part.
I don't think he's purely Nintendo, though.
He's only been on the DS, so that's pretty much Nintendo to me.
Maybe he's just stuck in chains. Like he's just been wanting to go out. He just can't.
Professor Layton would be a good inclusion as a guest character. But like as guest character goes, I just want Snake to be confirmed again, please. Just say it now, please. Even if they skin him as Big Boss, I don't care. I just want Snake back. It's just not going to be the same.
Anyway, but yeah, I think that's it for the news. That's what happened this week. Yeah, I think this is up for episode 47. Thanks for listening, guys. We have an episode every Tuesday, every week. And if you want to check out our previous episodes, you can check out our archives at www.toomuchgaming.com. That's 2 with the number 2. And you can actually check our video format of our previous episodes at our YouTube channel, TMG blog. Not only is our video format of our episodes are there, we have all our Let's Plays, shenanigans, also game reviews in our channel. So you can head over there and check it out. Please do subscribe, rate, and comment if you like what you're hearing in this episode. We talk a hell of a lot of video games.
Yeah, we do.
We do, and I think I'm checking out my list now. I think I'm kind of like ignoring a couple, so we can go more if you want to, but we'll cut it here. Thanks for hitting that play button. We will see you guys next week, and that'll be like the first episode of 2014's Burr Months. And crap, it's gonna be really crazy. What are you guys looking forward to as we hit the Burr months.
Persona.
You're laughing already. You're looking for Persona.
Persona.
I'll say this right now. Before the cast, I was like watching a series of beta footage for Destiny to get an idea of what Destiny is about. Because I'm kind of considering.
You have a PS4.
I know. I might buy the game, but up to now, I just don't get the appeal. Even when people are like saying like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be awesome," it just looks like Halo and Borderlands just made a baby.
But have you heard anyone who's played the demo not want to play this again?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
know, but the same with
I understand you're unhyped, but like I haven't heard anyone who's tried the demo say anything bad about this. Like they all just want to play it again, like all of them. So I guess it's that good.
But yeah, okay, fine. But
And plus, what else is there on the PS4?
There's a lot. What are you talking about? I'm
Not
thinking about
enough to keep you.
Shadows of Mordor is coming out in the end of September.
I think that game is not going to be as good as everyone thinks.
Yeah, I agree with Migs. I think that game's gonna flop big time.
If there's a basket of hay and you can jump over it, they might.
It's going to be like a basket of rings or some shit.
Well, anyway, what about you, Will? Before we close off, like, what are you looking forward to as we hit the Burr months? We're pretty much the end.
Wow, Bayonetta 2, really? I have no Wii U,
Isn't that in October? Oh yeah, right.
but I am excited for it.
You're excited for the...
Dude, I'm going with what you said, Will. If I don't have a Wii U by then, I'm just going to buy the game.
Yeah, I would do
I'm
that
just going to
too.
buy the game.
Just gonna keep it.
Just so I have a copy.
I don't think I can do anything like that because I'm most likely whenever I look at it, it's gonna stare at me forever and like say
Until you
like,
buy a Wii U.
Disappears.
But who knows? They might have like a
Wind Waker HD. I can't find that shit anymore.
Oh really?
Wind
Okay.
Waker HD on the 3DS?
On the Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, but yeah, the Burr month is coming up. Episode 48 will be pretty much the start of September. But yeah, thanks for listening in. Please hit that like button and that follow button in Facebook and Twitter. It's just too much gaming. We have all our posts there as well. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Video games.
Video game.
Oh.
It's up.